Controlling your game in an efficient manner that's right for you is insanely important when it comes to improving your performance as a player. With Dota being such an adjustable game in the settings department as it is, this video is going to go over some options that have a good chance of amplifying your gameplay when applied right. When it comes to control groups, there's primarily two ways I recommend using them, with both of them being equally viable and up to the individual player themselves. The first method is a tried and true one that most players will know and love if they have any modicum of experience with games, which is the standard 1-2-0 control scheme. In its simplest form, you're able to play any hero, including any sort of summon such as Lone Druid Bear, Warlock Golem, or Broodmother Spiderling, and put these creeps in one of your control groups. What sets Dota apart from older games in this fashion, however, is that the game retroactively remembers any sort of setting you've done for this account, which is huge. If you take older RTS games in particular, you had to consistently redo control groups in every new match you were playing. Dota affords you the luxury of putting something on a control group of your choice just once, and the game will remember it for a lifetime. This comes especially in handy as well for certain things like Manta Illusions. If you have a Manta Illusion set to number 5 and one to number 6, then the game will remember that Manta Illusions are assigned to those numbers regardless of the hero you find yourself on. What's even better is that following this simple method, you're not even tied down to using the numbers on your keyboard. The setting is highly flexible, and you can even choose something like your mouse scroll as control groups to quickly control whatever it's tied to. The next option in regards to control groups is that of tapping efficiently through one control group. This method being especially good for heroes with a lot of units tied to them that have to move quickly, such as Naga or Brood. By utilizing the console command, Dota selection groups false, and putting it in there, you can change how the game by default handles unit tapping, which is an extremely powerful tool when used in the right hands. The default version of tapping between units in Dota works in a way for you to tap between to use their abilities efficiently, while still walking together in the same control group. If you have Arc Warden for instance, and you tap between him, you can flux with both him and his Tempest Double and keep moving them together as one army. With the console command enabled though, tapping between the two of them will now result in Arc Warden and his Tempest Double walking independently of one another. This allows for an unparalleled amount of control when it comes to quickly splitting up units, letting you both fool opponents and quickly make efficient move orders when you have heroes with micro potential on hand. While there are a large amount of options you can activate in Dota, here are the ones I personally recommend getting used to and making the most of in 2023. One of the most fundamental yet important things in Dota besides last hitting is the denial of your own creeps when able to do so. This can be done by clicking A on the keyboard and then clicking the creep at half HP you wish to start denying. While this certainly works, it's a rather old control scheme, and luckily for us, you can put on the option called right-click attacks allies to attack in order to deny the creep in question instead. This is super useful and handy since you'll have a much easier time simply right-clicking a creep in order to deny it straight away without having to click any additional keys for doing so. This comes particularly in handy as well if you combine it with the use of stop or hold key, since you can fake a last hit this way much easier, constantly right-clicking the creeps and stopping, trying to fake the opponents and causing them to miss. Attack move / force attack is another option I can't recommend enough either, and can really make you that much better at both laning and controlling. Using this option, you are now able to press the default button of A anywhere and your hero will attack the most nearby thing available to it. This is very useful in a variety of ways. For starters, this allows you to more efficiently and effortlessly last hit if you take your position into account compared to creeps. No longer do you have to constantly hover your mouse and click over the creep you want to last hit, when you can simply just A-click anywhere, assuming that creep is closest to a hero, the hero will immediately send an attack flying. This bind also has a particularly nasty combination when it comes to chasing people and killing them when they're trying to juke you in trees. Normally, when you try to follow someone, your pathfinding might get you tripped up because your way forward is being blocked, which causes your hero to move in a direction you don't want. By A-clicking towards your intended target though, your hero will force its way towards it, and as soon as it comes into contact with the intended target, it'll start laying down the law. You'll become infinitely harder to deal when force attack is used like this. Last off, this is also a godsend for heroes that utilize either creeps or illusions in a farm-like capacity. By A-clicking the minimap, especially on heroes such as Naga Siren or Terrorblade, you can now efficiently send your illusions all over the place and have them farm very reliably. Because they'll attack the first thing they see, illusions will immediately start fighting creep camps or enemy heroes that just stand in their way, which will result in your illusions almost always doing something useful for you. While this video won't go into depth about it, do make sure to check out Quickcast as an option. I made a video specifically about this subject if you're interested. One of the keybinds that are the most fundamental are also one of the best ones to learn in order to play the game faster and be more of a threat. By holding down your control key by default, you can now tap your designated skill when you level up and level up your skill. This significantly speeds up how you level up your hero and without the hassle of having to navigate your cursor over the skill you want to level and then pressing it manually. It can also make all the difference in certain fights. If you're engaged in a fight at level 5 and during the fight you attain level 6, you can almost instantly skill your ultimate, and on certain heroes this can completely turn the tide to your advantage. Additionally, you can also level up talents and stat points in much a similar fashion. Pressing U by default will cause your talent leveler to come up, where pressing 1 will be the left talent, 2 being the right talent, and 3 being stats. You can very quickly and on demand skill what you need, when you need it. Everyone has to buy items in Dota 2, from cores to support, from damage items to wards to regen. You constantly have to keep yourself supplied with items from your courier. To that effect, I highly advise making use out of the purchase quick buy option in Dota, combined with setting up items for quick buy. Simply, by holding down shift and clicking items you're interested in, items will start filling up in your quick buy button. If you just shift click between items, you'll change what items is next on your quick buy agenda. Instead, if you hold down Control together with your shift, you can now put multiple items on your quick buy option. This lets you plan ahead on what you want to buy during a laning stage that much easier. If you know you want boots, magic wand and some regen, you can now queue all of this up without much hassle. Focus on laning and simply use the designated quick buy key that you have assigned to buy what you need on the fly, freeing up your focus in the process. As a very last mention, putting something as useful as either regen or a TP scroll as your purchase sticky is a thing I would highly recommend. You purchase TPs throughout an entire duration of a Dota game, and being able to do so with the ease of a simple button can make all the difference. And make sure you're stocked up with as much as you need. Thanks for watching this video. I tried to keep things within a relatively short explanation for the sake of brevity. The reality is that options and keybinds is something I could talk about for hours and hours upon end, but I wanted to list some of the most useful settings that I could think of. I hope these were of some use to you, and of course, if you have any options you're particularly fond of yourself, feel free to share them in the comment section and let me know how you control your Dota game. As always, you can catch me live on Twitch TV/FabKyobashi, and you can expect more weekly YouTube content every Saturday. Use the options given to you by the game client and take your gameplay to the next level. Every battle starts at preparation.